Waiting for a week of sci-fi apocalyptic US drama, Silo finally updated the 4th episode. In the last episode, we talked about Juliet from the engineering department. By mistake, she took over the post of the dead Sheriff Holston. But before Juliet took office, the mayor of the silo died in a strange way. After Juliet got the generator started successfully, came to the mayor's office to report. When she heard the news of the mayor's murder, Constable Sam called in Sims and Judge Whitehead from the legal department, asking them to list the criminals in the silo, and asked them to list the criminals in the silo who had been in contact with him, because the mayor was poisoned by drinking Sam's water. It is likely that the killer wanted to kill Sam and not the mayor, because in the silo on foot each person will carry a glass of water in his bag, and it is customary for everyone to take water from each other's backpacks to drink. This is the reason why the mayor died of poisoning. Sam and the mayor had a relationship of more than 40 years, vowed to find out who killed the mayor. Although the mayor who supported Juliet to become the sheriff died, but the mayor's appointment letter was still in effect. Juliet was thus appointed to the job. She became the new sheriff of Silo, but she was parachuted in as the chief of police. As soon as she arrived at the police station, she was targeted by her subordinates. Juliet, who came from the bottom, was not afraid of this. She easily made them obey her orders. She changed her mind and took the job. In fact, to find out the real cause of death of her boyfriend George, the deceased Holston made her the next sheriff and left the word truth on the back of his badge. Most likely because Holston found out something. Juliet tried to find clues in the police station, but nothing came up. The place she was given by Tsudakura was Holston's previous apartment. The room was neat and clean. It was much nicer than her room. The only thing is that when the exhaust fan is turned up, there is a noise. But that's not a problem for Juliet, who lives on the ground floor. The room had been cleaned and tidied. Holston's belongings were all taken away. Juliet still did not find any clues. Soon after, Judge Whitehead arrived with an officer from the legal department. After hearing the noise of the exhaust fan, Juliet was advised to have it repaired as soon as possible. They brought Juliet a police uniform. They made her take the oath before the convention. Juliet then officially became the new sheriff. The next day, Juliet sent her subordinates to the file room to look for her boyfriend George's file, only to be told that George's file was missing. The subordinate told her that Holston had left a file on his desk. It was reserved for the next sheriff, but Juliet found a note in the file's compartment. It said double the flows in front of the mirror. It seems that this is the clue Holston left him. But what is the meaning of this phrase? At that moment, there was a message on the radio that there was a disturbance. Juliet arrives to find Sam. She's asking a man about the poison. It seems that Sam is convinced that this man has poisoned the mayor. Juliet dissuades him and takes Sam to the restaurant, asking him if he should look for the killer in a different way. The police officer overhears. He laughed at Juliet, the new sheriff. How dare he tell him what to do next to a 30-year police veteran? Juliet confesses that the reason she became a sheriff, she wanted to find out the cause of her boyfriend George's death. Then she repeated to Sam what she had said to Sheriff Holston in the underground. They found something that proves George didn't kill himself. Holston promised to help her investigate, but soon afterwards, he walked out of the silo and died outside, but the badge she was left with had the word truth engraved on the back. Juliet guesses that this is a clue left by Holston, but at the moment she still has no clue, so she hopes that Sam will continue to help her investigate the cause of George's death, and she will also help Sam to investigate the death of the mayor. Juliet then went to the silo recycling station. She wanted to find what was left of Holston's apartment, especially the hard drive and the handwritten manuscript, but the staff said they hadn't seen either of them. Sims from legal found Sam, who was taking it out on a sandbag, told him the minister had decided to remove Juliet. Sam's going to be the next sheriff. After a day of contact, Sam's opinion of Juliet had changed, so he politely turned Sims down. But when Sam returns home at dark, Sam was attacked by an unknown person. The officer breaks free and tries to get his gun out of the closet, but the gun was already in the assailant's hand. How could it be him? On the other hand, Juliet returns to her apartment, recalling Holston's note to her, looking at the flowers in front of the mirror, not understanding what the note really said. When she turned the ventilation fan to the highest setting, this time there was a popping sound from inside. It was like the sound of metal clashing. Juliet suddenly thought of something. She opened the panel of the ventilation fan. She found that the sound came from a nut inside. There was a long, thin wire hanging from the back. Isn't this the way her boyfriend hid the hard drive underground? Holston was there. This must be the clue Holston left her. Following the wire, Juliet pulled up a package from the depths of the ventilation duct. Although there was no hard drive or manuscript inside, but there was a file of her missing boyfriend George. Juliet is getting closer to the truth. The villain of the play is also gradually emerging. I believe the plot will be more exciting. We'll see you next week in Silo.